The maritime industry in Nigeria is a very critical sector of the economy because Nigeria is a major oil and gas producer with an estimated population of about 180 million people. Shipping is at the core of activities within Nigeria's maritime industry. It is also a major consuming nation with the implication of a huge seaborne trade. Statistics indicate that the average cargo traffic of about 152 million metric tons worth over $5 billion in freight earnings are generated into the country annually. The Nigerian oil and gas sector, which is the mainstay of the economy, required huge shipping and logistics services for its operations. However, this subsector of the marine industry is also dominated by foreigners, and the nation has been losing about $4 billion to foreign ship owners yearly due to lack of indigenous capacity in local maritime transportation. On this informative note, I warmly welcome you to today's edition on Maritime Update. I am Norma Obiaswalo. On a weekly basis, Maritime Update showcases activities in the maritime industry. In this episode, we will be focusing on the International Maritime Seminar for Judges. First, issues and developments that made news in the sector. Stay with us. Customs to deploy drones to combat smuggling. Customs urges agents to fish out officers who aid illegal release of goods. On fuel importation, Nigeria will lose $561.2 million from NNPC's 50% rebate, says MPA-in-Chief. And now to the main stories. The Nigerian Customs Service (NCS) is to adopt high-technology strategies, including deployment of drones, in combating the smuggling of rice and other prohibited goods into the country. Customs Deputy Controller General, Enforcement, Investigation and Inspection, Aminu Dangaladima, disclosed this while launching a set of 30 patrol vans at the NCS headquarters in Abuja. Dangaladima said Customs was also exploring a partnership with the Nigerian Air Force in the aerial anti-smuggling efforts. In his speech, he says that they are thinking of having drones and bringing in the Air Force. They are also thinking of having unmanned aerial vehicles. These are drones and others that can assist them. This will go a long way in assisting to combat smuggling. The Nigerian Customs Service has urged clearing agents under the aegis of the Association of the Nigerian Licensed Agents, ANCLA, to assist it in fishing out officers who aid fraudsters to hack into its software to illegally release vehicles and other goods from the ports without duty payment. Speaking at the meeting between the custom management and executive members of the association led by the president of ANCLA, Tony Ijonwabonike, Assistant Controller General of Customs Fatade Aderinle said the hackers recently gained access to Tinkan Command Processes Center in connivance with some corrupt officers. He further disclosed that one of the hackers has been identified and his picture has been posted at the enforcement unit of the Tinkan Command. He also said that the association and the customs have been in a relationship for a number of years and they need to assist it in getting their foot right in getting revenue, as he also urged them to report any corrupt officer who partake in doing business with them to siphon customs revenue. The Managing Director, Nigerian Port Authority (NPA), Hadiza Bala Usman, has said that the country will lose the sum of $561.2 million and 334.2 million naira revenue from the 50% rebate approved by the federal government for the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) to import premium motor spirit (PMS) in 2018. Usman disclosed this when she appeared before the House of Representatives Committee on Ports and Harbors for the 2017 budget evaluation and 2018 budget defense of her agency. The MPA boss noted that between 2009 to 2018, the country lost $234.4 million and 3.2 billion naira revenue as a result of rebate granted to NNPC for importation of PMS, noting that there was no evidence that the policy impacted positively on the populace as the pump price of fuel remained the same. The MPA boss also called for the review of the current automotive policy in the country, pointing out that the policy, which increased the tariff on imported fairly used vehicles into the country, was making government lose revenue with a reduction in importation. That's Maritime News. Maritime Update continues shortly. Stay with us. If you have just joined us, this is Maritime Update reaching you courtesy of the Nigerian Shippers Council. For details, please read the Nigerian Shippers Council on our email, website, or better still, text the number showing on your screen. Do you know that the Port Service Support Portal, PSSP, is a complaint management and service support solution aimed at addressing business-to-business transaction problems in the Nigerian ports? This is how to use it.
Welcome to Port Support Services, otherwise called the PSSP. The PSSP, as it is popularly known, is an initiative of the Nigerian Shippers Council created to serve the public better. Just to help you navigate the portal, first log on to the website www.pssp.ng. There you'll find the basic information about PSSP, information on partners of the project standard operating procedure of the partners of the PSSP, and frequently asked questions, contact information. With the PSSP of the Nigerian Shippers Council, members of the public will be able to make complaints using the complaint form, track the status of the complaint, and make inquiries or give a feedback using the contact form. To submit a complaint, open your web browser and type www.pssp.ng. The home page will load. Click on the Make a Complaint. The login page will display, but you will need to be registered on the portal to be able to submit a complaint. If it's the first time of submitting a complaint, click on either the Register button or the Register link. To register, you will need to apply your email address, display name, and password. After completing these fields, you should click on the Register button. If you have previously created an account, simply log in by supplying your email address and password. After you have successfully logged in, you should see the complaint form. The system assumes you are the main complainant. The complaint form has 5 sections: complaint details, service provider details, event or service description, other details, complaint description. In addition, you will find a yes and a no button, and this is how it works. Using the yes or no button indicates you are complaining on behalf of a company. If you're complaining on behalf of someone, you have to give us their details by clicking on the Add Detail button, then click on the Next button. From the pop-up list, select the type of company your complaint is about from the agency list and select the company from the companies list.
Thanks for staying tuned. Now to the guest of the week. He is Samuel Vongtan, Director Legal Services of the Nigerian Shippers Council. In this interaction, he spoke on the highlights of the forthcoming International Seminar for Judges in Abuja, with the key objective of having a comprehensive legislation on piracy, which has economic implication on the Nigerian trade. Stay with us. The International Maritime Seminar for Judges is coming up soon. Tell us about the seminar and what are the expectations?
The International Seminar for Judges was initiated by the Nigerian Shippers Council since 1995. Since then, been regularly organized by the Nigerian Shippers Council in collaboration with the National Judicial Institute, a body set up and charged with the responsibility of continuing education of judicial officers. The seminar is aimed at updating the knowledge of judicial officers, the judges, especially judges of superior courts of record, on maritime issues. The maritime law aspect of the maritime industry is a very special aspect of the law, and there is need for judicial officers to be abreast of developments in the maritime law practice, to enable them handle issues efficiently in maritime cases.
The 15th edition is coming up soon. So can you let us into what date, what is the venue of this year's seminar?
Yes, the seminar has been organized since 1995 and it started annually, but now it is organized biennially.
Okay.
And the 15th edition of the seminar is coming up this year.
Okay.
On the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of July.
Okay.
And it is going to take place at Abuja Sheraton Hotel.
Okay.
Yes.
What are the objectives of the Nigerian Shippers Council for organizing this seminar?
Okay. As you know, the main function of Nigerian Shippers Council, especially at the time when this seminar was initiated, is the protection of the interests of Nigerian shippers. And one of the areas where the interests of Nigerian shippers needed, protection is in the area of adjudication of maritime cases. And prior to the organization of this seminar, it was discovered that there were some delays in, the trial of maritime cases in Nigeria. And Nigerian Shippers Council, being the agency charged with the duty of protecting the interests of Nigerian shippers, looked into this issue, and it was discovered that there is need for judges to be educated in the area of maritime law. It is because the judges who are charged with the responsibility of handling maritime issues are not taught maritime law in their schools.
Okay.
And for that reason, when the cases come before them, they have to go through, rigorous researches to be able to get a grasp of the facts of the case before them. And as a result of that, there are inevitable delays. And as we know, delay in shipping is very disastrous because time is money in the business of shipping. So Nigerian Shippers Council decided to collaborate with the National Judicial Institute, which is a body charged with the continuing education of judges, to organize this seminar, to provide a forum for the judges to come together and rub minds on issues relating to maritime law so that they will be able to properly handle the cases that come before them in court. So
who are those we are expecting at this event? And do you have any collaborations with any agency?
Yes, the Maritime Seminar for Judges is organized primarily by Nigerian Shippers Council and the National Judicial Institute, which has been collaborating with us. We can't do it together because it is their responsibility to educate the judges. And it is our responsibility to protect the interests of Nigerian shippers. And in that regard, our desire in organizing the seminar is to promote the interests of Nigerian shippers. The Maritime Seminar for Judges was primarily meant for judges of the Federal High Court, justices of the Court of Appeal, and justices of the Supreme Court who were charged with the primary, original, and appellate jurisdictions in maritime matters. But with time, it was expanded to include legal practitioners, to include shipping companies, terminal operators, legislators, policymakers, law students, and other operators in the maritime industry. And being a port economic regulator, the Nigerian Shippers Council invites all operators in the maritime industry to the seminar where they will rub minds and come up with policies that will help in the development of the industry for the benefit of our economy and for the betterment of the generality of Nigerians. And so the seminar is now open to all participants or practitioners in the maritime industry.
So who are those we expect at the venue?
We expect primarily the judges of the federal high courts, justices of the Court of Appeal, justices of the Supreme Court, and state high court judges. And we also expect maritime lawyers, we expect legislators, we expect policymakers, law lecturers, and all the operators, people operating in the maritime industry generally. Even in this year's seminar, we are expecting participation from foreign judiciaries. The chief justices of 3 West African countries and their judges are coming to attend this seminar. We have the chief judge of Ghana, the chief judge of Gambia, and the chief judge of Sierra Leone with justices of their Supreme Court.
So we're looking outside Nigeria. It's cuts across. Yes. Is it the Western Africa or cut across other countries in Africa?
Yes, it cuts across the whole. It's international, so it's supposed to be global. The South African judiciary and Kenyan judiciary also indicated interest, but at the later stage, it appears they will not make it this year.
So it's strictly the West African countries?
This year, it's strictly the West African judiciaries, but we have participants coming from other places as resource persons.
Okay.
We have participants coming from UK as resource persons.
Okay. So will this year's seminar take a firm position on piracy?
Yes, the seminar is going to take a very firm stand on piracy. Because, piracy is a subject that has agitated the minds of the maritime community globally for a long time. And it's also discovered that the Gulf of Guinea, which bordered, our area, has become a hotbed of piracy. As a result of that, the seminar is going to look seriously at the subject of piracy. And that is the reason why we have a panel of resource persons coming from different fields of interest in the maritime industry. We have the lead paper on piracy to be presented by a captain of Ghanaian Navy, Dr. Kamaldeen Ali, and it will be commented upon by the legal advisor of the Nigerian Navy also. Also, we have a representative of the International Maritime Organization coming to comment on the same topic of piracy. We have other people on, speaking on that subject. We have the Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency. And then we also have a renowned legal practitioner by name Mike Igboke, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, who is also going to comment from the point of view of maritime law practitioners on the same topic of piracy. The aim is that we want this subject to be, decisively dealt with in this seminar, so that at the end of it, something positive will be done by the country. A strong recommendation will be made to government on this subject matter.
Which we should be able to reflect in our economy, right?
Yes, it will reflect very well on the economy because, as I said earlier, the Gulf of Guinea has become a hotbed of piracy, and that discourages investments in the country. So with this, we hope that the seminar will make a recommendation for an enactment of a law for the prosecution of pirates, which will now discourage piracy in the country and then encourage investment into our maritime industry.
At the end of the seminar, there are expectations from the Nigerian Shippers Council. What are the expectations?
Expectations are that at the end of the seminar, there will be appropriate recommendations to government for the development of the maritime industry. We expect, as I said earlier, we expect a law on piracy to be initiated and enacted. We expect further that there will be a much shorter time in the trial of maritime cases as the seminar continues, because judges are becoming more and more aware and educated in the field. We also expect that cargo owners will become much more aware about of their rights, because there is a very interesting topic that is going to be discussed, and that is on the rights of a cargo owner at the insolvency of the carrier. And this subject is brought about by the Hanjin shipping experience. Okay. That is when a carrier became insolvent and his vessels are carrying cargo of various cargo owners. At the end of the day, they didn't know what to do because their cargoes were dumped in some places. There was nobody for them to seek redress from. So this will also make our cargo businessmen much more aware of their rights on what to do in situations like this one. And this subject is going to be taken by Simon Clark. He's a technical director of Sun and Marine Logistics from UK. So this is one of the expectations, and we also expect that at the end of this seminar, there is going to be the issue of a liability regime for carriage of goods by roads and railway will also be considered, and a recommendation will be made to government in that area. Because we know that in Nigeria is a very vast country, and we carry a lot of cargo by road, but there is no any legal regime governing the liability of the carrier on the road. So at the end of the seminar, we expect that there will be some recommendations to government on that.
Then how will you rate the implementation of the recommendations made so far at the seminar?
Yes, the recommendations made by the seminar has helped government in coming up with very, very key policies in the maritime industry for the development of the industry. The implementation, the enactment of the Council for the Regulation of Freight Forwarding Act 2007 was a recommendation of the seminar, and it has helped in organizing and reforming the freight forwarding business in Nigeria. And another recommendation of the seminar was implemented, and it led to the incorporation of the International Convention on the Carriage of Goods by Sea, popularly known as the Hamburg Rules, which is now the operating law of carriage in Nigeria. It has also led to the recommendation for the introduction of maritime law in all Nigerian universities. Okay. And to that extent, a committee has been set up by the Ministry of Transport, which has a Nigerian Shippers Council, National University Commission, and National Judicial Institute as members. The committee has started working on how to introduce maritime law in the curriculum of all the universities in Nigeria.
And that's the much recommendations that's made. You didn't talk about how you've been able to implement those policies, or those recommendations, sorry. Yes,
those recommendations have been implemented to some extent, but some are still being implemented, like the introduction of the maritime law is in the process of being implemented. Okay. The reorganization of the freight forwarding business has already been implemented. The incorporation of the Hamburg Rules has already been implemented. The review of the Merchant Shipping Act has also been implemented. And there are sundry recommendations that have been implemented. For example, it is the recommendations of the seminar that led to the massive port reforms that took place, in which the issue of concession of the terminals of the ports was implemented, together with the appointment of an interim economic regulator of the ports. All this came from the recommendations of the Maritime Seminar for Judges.
This is a fine place to end this chat. Is being Samuel Vongtang. He is the Director, Legal Services, Nigerian Shippers Council. I must thank you most kindly for coming on Maritime Update.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And that's a wrap on Maritime Update this week. I must thank you most kindly for being a part of this week's edition. Please send your comment and observation on the number showing on your screen, as we promise yet a better package next week. For more details, you can contact the Nigerian Shippers Council on our email, website, or text the number showing on your screen. You can also view this episode or any of our previous episodes on our YouTube channel, Maritime Update. When you visit, please subscribe and also click the notification button. I am Norma Obiaswalo. Until I come your way again next week, it's goodbye.